Well, are you able to see the screen and me both?
Yes, sir.
You can see me also?
Yes, sir.
Well, okay, fine. So, start now. Uh, well, till the last class, we have seen that Shivaji has, defeated Kartalab Khan, the Mughal commander, and also he attacked Shaista Khan in Pune in the night and surprised him. And Shaista Khan has to, lose his finger. He was about to be killed, but somehow his life was saved, and that was greatly insulting to the pride of the Mughal, and this has angered Aurangzeb to great extent. And rub salt on the injury, what Shivaji has done further is that he looted Surat, one of the important port in the Mughal domain, from where the Muslims used to sail for the pilgrimage to Makkah and Medina. At the same time, the revenue of that Surat port was assigned to Aurangzeb's sister Jahanara. And this looting of Surat, burning of Surat, it again gave blow to the prestige of Mughal. And then Jaswant Singh Rathod, who was in fact accompanying Shahista Khan and stationed near Pune, Jaswant Singh Rathod was ordered to take Kondhana, but he could not take it. You know, the Kondhana is very inaccessible fort on the mountain near Pune, and that was his failure. And apart from that, Shivaji twice looted Ahmednagar, another important city in the Mughal domain, and his navy also attacked and looted some Mughal sheep. So all this thing has angered Aurangzeb, and now Aurangzeb thought that I need to send somebody who is very very capable. So he appoints Jai Singh. Mirza Raje, he was given title Mirza. Mirza is a title generally which is given to the relative of the emperor. But Jai Singh has done a lot of service to Mughal empire, and he was given this title Mirza Raje. He was also, apart from the Mansabdar of Mughal, he was also the king of Jaipur, Ajmer. Jaipur, that is a kingdom. It was called Amber earlier. Later on, Jaipur city was found. So he was king of Amber, and those Rajputs were descendant. They were known as Kachawa Rajput, and they had a very long hereditary enmity with the Rajputs of Udaipur, who were Shishodiyas. So the Shishodiyas and Kachawas, they had a hereditary enmity. Of course, that is not a part of our lecture today. But this Jai Singh, he was very capable, very experienced in war and diplomacy. Since the age of 8, as a child, he was enrolled in the Mughal court as Mansabdar, and it is believed that he fought more than 100 battles. So, very experienced person, a very clever, astute diplomat was now sent against Shivaji. He has seen the regime. Jai Singh has seen the regime from Jahangir to Aurangzeb, and then along with Jai Singh, there were other Nobels, Mughal Nobels were also sent, Diler Khan and Manucci as well. Anybody else has also joined? Just a minute. Let me see the participant. Asia and Laltanpuri and Shalini. Okay, fine. Others are not joined today. Wait. Am I clear to you, Asia and Shalini? Is it audible?
Oh,
Okay. So Jai Singh now starts with Diler Khan and Manucci. Manucci was in fact an Italian person, and he was enrolled in the Mughal service as an head of the artillery. These European people, they had a better knowledge of using artillery, using cannon, and Mughals try to take and make use of them to fight against their enemies. And he was also sent as head of artillery against Shivaji. Now, Jai Singh was, as he was not only brave, but he was very clever diplomat as well. So he ensured that Shivaji is not getting any help from Bijapur. So he that was another important power in the south. Though Bijapur is on the decline, but still it was still a force to reckon with. So he sends correspondence to Adil Shah and says that you should not join Shivaji, and the area of Bijapur which is conquered by Shivaji will be given back to Bijapur once I defeat Shivaji. Also, the yearly tribute that Adil Shah was forced to pay to Mughal, he said that that will be reduced. That will be reduced. So, and at the same time, he wanted to isolate Shivaji. He communicated with all those people who had a kind of enmity with Shivaji, like More and then Fazal Khan. You know, the son of Afzal Khan. Afzal Khan was killed by Shivaji. So this young man was very angry with Shivaji. We know that he also tried to attack Shivaji, but he was not successful. As well as there were certain Nayaks of Karnataka and all those people, the More of Zawi against whom Shivaji had enmity, all those people he tried to contact and say that you cooperate with us so that he can, isolate and then defeat Shivaji. Similarly, he also said that on the coast where there was a Mughal Navy was never very strong, but nevertheless, whatever it is, he said that this Mughal Navy should attack the Maratha forts as well. And then before starting, he asked the emperor that the whole complete command of this campaign should be handed over to him, and that emperor has agreed. Well, he not only that all those people who had enmity with Shivaji, he communicated with them, but also at the same time he also tried to lure the Shivaji's men away from him. He tried to create a kind of decision among the Shivaji's men. And then, as he asked for the complete command of the expedition, the Mughal commanders in Maharashtra and in Gujarat also they were sent to Maharashtra and they were asked to obey the command of Jai Singh. Now, Jai Singh he starts in January, and surprisingly, before marching against Shivaji, he conducts a huge yagya. A large number of Brahmins were invited, and they were fed. That is believed to be a kind of auspicious occasion, auspicious ceremony, which ensures your success. To become successful, he conducts yagya, and then he starting in January after two near about 1.5 months march, he reaches to Pune on 3rd March 1665. And then he was a person as who is not very rash. He doesn't want to rush, but he stays there. And next 3 months, he prepare very diplomatically, having a lot of correspondence and studying the situation. What kind of steps he should take against Shivaji? And then he thought that he planned that Purandar is a very important fort, very situated on a very high mountain, and on Purandar, a large number of Marathas as they were fighting war, noble Marathas they have kept their families. So he thought that if I conquered Purandar, Shivaji's main strength lies in the mountain fort. So if I conquer Purandar, that will put a lot of pressure on Shivaji. In fact, Aurangzeb has advised him to attack the Konkan region of Shivaji, which he ignores. And then after very well preparation, he starts towards Purandar. And then he took care that no Maratha help is reaching to Purandar. He keeps Mughal army at such a place that if the fort of Purandar is surrounded, no Maratha army cannot go and rescue the people who are surrounded in the fort. So they have to either fight for a very long period, or they have to just surrender, or otherwise they have to just they will be killed in case they don't surrender. In case the Mughal win, and there he put his lot of energy. He starts from Pune, and there is a place called Narayanpet near Purandar where he encamps, where he establishes his camp. And as the Marathas from the Purandar fort, Murarbaji Deshpande, another Deshpande warrior of Shivaji, was responsible for the protection of the fort. And there, these Marathas, they in troops, in numbers, they will descend from the fort, attack the Mughal commander Diler Khan and Mughal army that were marching towards Purandar. but it was not having a lot of effect because the Mughals were much more numerically superior and they had a very good artillery. I told you, Manucci, the Italian, was accompanying them with his artillery force. Now, Purandar fort is such that Purandar is an important hill fort, and near to Purandar there is another hill, and on that also Marathas had built one fort that is called Vajragad, Rudramar. So, they were joint fort, and in between there was a very narrow pass called Bhairav Khind. Now, Purandar was more important than Vajragad. On Vajragad, the number of Marathas were quite on the lesser side as it was difficult directly to conquer Purandar. Diler Khan has thought about another idea. He thought that I will conquer Vajragad first and put my cannon there, and from Vajragad I will fire at Purandar. And Purandar proper itself was divided into the two kind of forts, two areas. One is called Machi, that is, you reach a high position, and on the high position there is a plain area that is called Machi, and after that also there is a very steep rise and steep hill which is called Balekila. In that also there were two forts. So what Diler Khan plans next now is that he plans to he attacked the Mughal. They attacked the fort in all direction. The Marathas they were fighting back, and from the mountain they were hurling big stones and cannon and causing damage to the Mughal army. But Diler Khan now plans for the conquest of Vajragarh first. So he when he tries to conquer Vajragarh and tries to take cannon on Vajragarh, definitely he faces tough resistance from the Maratha side. But somehow, as they were numerically superior, the Marathas, they after a lot of resistance, they had to surrender. Vajragarh was lost to the Mughal, and that was a very important turning point in this battle. Diler Khan he succeeded placing his cannon on Vajragarh in April 1665. Now, from Murarbaji was seeing all these things was happening. The Marathas were killed and Vajragarh being lost to the Mughal. But he was helpless because Purandar was also surrounded and he could not come to the rescue of Vajragarh. Now, Vajragarh was captured. First, they put cannon into the nearby mountain. They captured Vajragarh. They fired on Vajragarh. And Vajragarh Burj, Burj is an area on the fountain on the mountain wall, the fort wall where people can stay and protect. I'll show you the picture of Burj. Now, Mughal entered Vajragarh. Marathas, though they gave tough fight, finally they surrendered. And as Vajragarh was lost to Mughal had an advantageous position. So they captured the rampart, and on from there they started firing on Purandar. So Purandar, there are two Burj. I'll show in probably in the next slide. There is a picture of Burj. Yes. Can you see this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Yes,
so
sir.
this is if you see the fort, generally you will find this kind of structure, and this is called burj. A burj is here you can see there is a stone kind of construction, but in between there is a hole from where you can put your small cannon or gun, or you can fire it on if anybody tries to climb. So this is important for the protection. Just imagine if this is blown away, probably it becomes easier to enter, and that is what Diler Khan has done. There were two burj in Purandar: Safed Burj and Kala Burj, White Burj and the Black Burj, and those were blown away by the cannon. And as they were blown away, the Mughal they started entering into the Machi, the Machi, the upper but relatively plain area, and on that there is a further high steep climbing where there will be a Balekilla. So here the Burj were blown up, and the Marathas who were here for protecting, they were killed. Large number of Marathas, significant number of Marathas were killed. Now the Mughal they captured this Machi, the plain area, relatively plain area on the high mountain. And while capturing, also there was tough resistance from Marathas. Large number of Marathas and Mughals both were killed. Now, you see, the Machi was captured, and on that there is a Balekilla where some Marathas were stationed. And Murarbaji, who is responsible, he decided now it is a time to make a supreme sacrifice. So from that Balekilla, among the soldiers, Maratha soldiers, he selects 700 select soldiers, and then he opens the gate of Balekilla and then rushes on the Mughal who were stationed there, along with Diler Khan. And very tough hand-to-hand fighting it went on. Nearly 500 Pathan soldiers of Diler Khan were killed by Murarbaji and his soldiers. And Murarbaji, while fighting, almost reached very close to Diler Khan. And Diler Khan was very impressed by the valor of Murarbaji. You can see this is a statue of Murarbaji Deshpande on the Purandar Fort, which I have seen around 30 years back. And you see here, like Baji Prabhu Deshpande, who gave up his life, was also holding two swords in his hand. Murarbaji Deshpande was also holding two swords now, so which symbolizes that the warrior is no longer caring about his life, but he is bent upon giving up his life. So it is a final battle. And Murarbaji, he reaches very close to Diler Khan's camp, and Diler Khan tells him, "You are a very brave person. Why don't you surrender and join Mughal? You will get much more better position." But Murarbaji, the proud Maratha, dedicated to Shivaji's cause, refuses and says that I am not here to change the side. I'm Shivaji's man, and I will die fighting. And he attacks Diler Khan. And Diler Khan, he was having that arrow. He was a very good archer. So he shoots arrow at Murarbaji Deshpande, and Murarbaji Deshpande is fatally wounded, and he dies in the battle. Now, so there was apart from this battle, when this battle was happening, there was a lot of restlessness that is going on in Shivaji's area, because Jai Singh, he not only invested Purandar, but he sent his other Mughal contingent to burn and kill and destroy Shivaji's territory. So he simultaneously attacked Shivaji's area, and the Mughal looted, burn, and destroy villages. And the Marathas, they did fought back whenever they can, but the odds were definitely against Shivaji now. Shivaji now realized that it's difficult for him to save Purandar, and as I have told you, many of the noble Marathas, they have kept their wives and children at Purandar fort, and if they fell into the hands of the Mughal, they will be pushed into the slavery, and probably women were also being dishonored. And so Shivaji praised Jai Singh. He sent his enemy, he sent his representative to Jai Singh's camp to talk, but Jai Singh was not willing to listen. He had a very strict instruction from Aurangzeb that you should not negotiate with Shivaji, but ask him for a complete surrender. And Jai Singh says that nothing doing, no negotiation. You surrender completely, then only the things will go ahead. And Shivaji tried negotiation, but as he knew that Purandar cannot be saved, he decided to throw him at the mercy of Jai Singh, and then he goes to Jai Singh's camp without harm. And then Jai Singh agrees, and then they sit for the negotiation. And Jai Singh was not only a good warrior, but he was a good diplomat also. He made an arrangement of the meeting in such a way. From there, you can see the battle of the Purandar that was happening now. And as Shivaji and Jai Singh were sitting there, he also already had an instruction to Diler Khan that when we were negotiating, you keep pressure on Purandar. So the pressure was increased on Purandar. More than 90 Marathas were killed when the negotiation was going on. And Shivaji said, I'm just ask your people to stop the fighting. I'm going to surrender this fort to you." And Jai Singh says, "Okay, fine. You do one thing with this key of, symbolically with this key of fort, you go and give it to Diler Khan." And Shivaji goes to Diler Khan, and Diler Khan was a bit upset because he wanted to take this fort by conquer this fort and not take it by negotiation. That proves your capability, that proves your manliness. And but nevertheless, he thought that if Shivaji surrenders to the negotiation of Jai Singh, the credit will go to Jai Singh. But as Jai Singh was given the complete command of the expedition against Shivaji, he has to listen to Jai Singh and stop the war. The key is handed over to Dilir Khan, and the families and those people from Purandar, they were allowed to go with their lives. They cannot carry anything else. And that is how Purandar was surrendered, and now there was a negotiation between Jai Singh and Shivaji. And this is what is called Treaty of Purandar now.
Oh.
Well, the expedition started in April, and in June there was a negotiation. 11 June 1665. The meeting took place near Purandar. This I have already told you. This is okay. Well, now this is called Treaty of Purandar, which was the agreement between Jai Singh and Shivaji. Jai Singh, though he had a very strict instruction from Aurangzeb to finish off Shivaji, Jai Singh, through his correspondence and through his communication, convinced to Emperor that it's instead of killing Shivaji, finishing him off and then attacking Adil Shah, it's better we should make Shivaji as our ally and then attack Adil Shah. Making Shivaji as our friend is better. That is what Jai Singh have suggested to Aurangzeb, and probably somehow Aurangzeb came around. And though Aurangzeb had given him instruction, and Jai Singh had also told there will be no fort left with Shivaji, but it is Shivaji's diplomacy that after the negotiation, treaty in the treaty. 23 forts of Shivaji will be given to Mughals, and 12 forts will remain with Shivaji. And the area that is yielding revenue of 4 lakh poon per year will also be given to the Mughal from Shivaji. And Shivaji he was very proud. He did not want to present himself to Aurangzeb as a kind of person who has surrendered. So Shivaji was exempted from us. Presenting himself to emperor, and Shivaji was not willing to accept Mansabdari. He was an independent ruler. But then, as a compromise, his son Sambhaji was made as Mansabdar of 5,000. What is Mansabdari, that is there in your third paper, in your second paper, state in ancient and medieval India. Shivaji's son was given Mansabdari, and Shivaji also agreed to assist Mughal in their expedition in south against Bijapur. And Shivaji also agreed to pay 40 lakh poon to Aurangzeb in next 13 years. And the area of Bijapur that will be conquered here onwards by Shivaji will remain with him. So you see, Shivaji's position was very precarious, but nevertheless, through diplomacy, he managed to save 12 forts. He has to give 23 forts, and he also managed to keep certain area, as well as he also managed to take a promise that the area of Bijapur that will be conquered by him will remain with Shivaji. Now, the Jai Singh, from Jai Singh's perspective, the treaty was obviously very beneficial to the Mughal. The Mughal got 40 lakh poon, that is 2 crore rupees, in next 13 years, of course, installment. It did not come because later on, again, Shivaji and Mughal's relationship, it got ruptured. And Jai Singh said that by promising that Shivaji will help Mughal, and by promising that the area of Bijapur that will be conquered by Shivaji will remain with Shivaji, it has ensured that there will be an enmity between Shivaji and Bijapur. It will increase further. The Mughals are, they are saved from launching expedition into the very thick forest and difficult terrain of the south. That responsibility can be given to Shivaji, and this war and this treaty, it definitely proves the capability of Jai Singh. He made Shivaji to surrender in 3 months only. Shivaji, who could not be checked by Shahista Khan, who could not be checked by Adil Shahi nobles like Afzal Khan, was almost forced to surrender by Jai Singh. Uh, After that, there is a joint expedition against Bijapur by Mughal and Shivaji. How many have joined? Meanwhile, well, today what happened? You three students are there. Rest of the students are not joining. So, well, what I'm thinking now, as students have not joined today, let us stop here for today. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Asia, Shalini.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we stop here for today. We have done with Treaty of Purandar, and after that there is a joint expedition of Shivaji and Mughal. So for today we are stopping here, and let us see if this continues to happen in future. If the students are not joining, we need to cover the syllabus. I'll take the class for 1 hour, but today I'm stopping in between. So next class, do I have class tomorrow? Yes, Friday I have class. So Friday, tomorrow we will continue further, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.
Have, have a nice day.
Yeah.